Hi guys, this is my second life story video. I left off that I was with some idiot Mexican guy. But anyways, so I'm gonna try and talk about this fast. I shortly after I broke up with that guy, my first boyfriend who ripped me apart. Oh wait, that's really bad. But anyway, I went to my grandparents' farm. They own a farm. They own a bunch of acres, and my sister had gotten pregnant, and I felt like I needed to move out of my parents' house. There wasn't much room here, and I just knew I needed to move on. And I was 22. I go there, and I am so depressed. I got so depressed. I was really lonely, and I had issues with, not really issues, I just disliked what in particular, one person in my family really bothered me. I felt like I was belittled constantly, and I just felt, I felt like I was, I'm trying not to bash anybody if they watch this. We weren't on the same level, and we still aren't, and we both know that, and that's cool, it's okay. This person got way more attention from my grandparents than I did, and than the rest of my siblings did, and it really bothered me, and why, so I got real lonely out there. I didn't have any friends, and I was I was drinking. I drank myself to sleep every night, and it was a non-stop thing. I drank Bacardi, and I would buy it just about every night, and it would be one of those big bottles, and one day I get a message on Facebook, and it's this really hot guy. He's blonde hair, blue eyes, and he messages me saying, "Hey, I live in Kemp too." That's where I lived. Anyway, I lived in Kemp too, and you know what? We just live right down on the same road. And in the country, your neighbors are like a mile away. And so for real, we lived on the same road, and he wanted to meet up, and I was so for it. Let's meet up. What do I have to lose? I have no friends anyway. So I meet up with this guy, and he's beautiful. I mean, I fell in love with him. And big mistake, but we had sex that first night. I was so I just wanted that attention. I just wanted that kind of affection so bad. And so we had sex, and I allowed it, and I wanted it, and he changed my whole view of sex into something totally different. He made it very romantic. We were on the lake, under the stars. It was beautiful, and it meant a lot to me, and I fell in love with this guy right away. So we went on. He invited me again to go over to his house, and this time it was going to be a date, and he was going to cook me dinner. And I go, and we were going to eat it on the lake, the same place where, we made love. And I went out and bought this dress. I straightened my hair. I was looking fly. I thought for the first time I really looked sexy. I was just so into myself and so excited, and I was getting ready, and I'm about to leave. It's time to go. And he cancels on me. He's like, "No, you can't come over." And I was so devastated. I was devastated. He's like, "No," and he kind of pushes me away, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I did all this stuff just to get to you. I wanted to look cute and all this stuff, and he canceled on me, and I lost it. That night I lost it. I was devastated. I couldn't believe that once again, another man in my life fucks me over. And that night I drank a lot. I drank a whole bottle of Bacardi, and I took whatever pills I could find. And that night I tried to kill myself. I wrote a note and everything. I wrote a letter. And that part of my life really flipped my world upside down. The next day I was admitted to Green Oaks in Dallas, and I got treatment there. I stayed there for 5 days, and it was a wild experience, but it got me right back on track. I wanted to be better, and I wanted not to be so depressed, and I get back home, and I moved back home. I decided to move. I needed to get out of that environment. It just wasn't good for me. The country life is not for me. That's what I thought. And so then I'm back home, and I get another message from this guy. Oh, his name's Brandon. I don't know if I've said that, but and he has interest in me, and what do? I fall right back into it. He's one of the reasons why he was the cherry on top to why I tried to kill myself, and I went right back to it, and we ended up moving in together back at Kemp. And so besides this whole thing, and this is the crazy part, okay? After I tried to kill myself, I kept seeing this. Y'all are gonna think I'm nuts. I kept seeing this number, okay? This number was 111 or 1111. It was a sequence of ones, okay? And I could not understand why I saw this number so often. Like, it happened so much. I saw it on receipts. I saw it on billboards and license plates. And I would open up the microwave, and it would be 1 minute and 11 seconds. I saw it on the clock. Every time I looked at the clock, it was 11:11 or 1:11. Like, it just never ended. Every single day I saw this number, and it was driving me crazy. Like, am I crazy? Why am I seeing all this? So anyways, I get back with that Brandon guy, and I'm taking care of his 6 kids. I didn't know he had 6 kids. Well, I did when I moved in with him or whatever. I decided, maybe, hey, this is my life. This is what I'm supposed to do in life, is take care of these kids. Maybe that's what I'm here for. And so that's what I thought. I took care of his kids. I worked 7 days a week as a home health care nurse, and I loved that job. I took care of dying people, but I tried to make them comfortable and clean their homes. I also had to do community service 7 days a week because of traffic tickets. And while all this is going on, Brandon is cheating on me constantly. I didn't know. He was doing drugs, but I was too. Because of all the chaos going on and how busy I was, I got on dope really bad. Methamphetamine. I was on meth really bad. And I had to do it every single day or I couldn't function. And so I'm seeing this number still every single day. It was nonstop. And I see it a lot, in particular this one day. But leading up to this day, because I was on dope so bad, and I was always coming down so much because we couldn't afford it all the time. There was 6 kids in the house, I'm very guilty of this. I regret everything. I was taking care of this wonderful woman. I watched her deteriorate, though. She was wonderful. Her name was Rosa Pearl, and she had good pills. She had good pain pills, and I would take them constantly. I got set up that one morning. I saw a whole bunch of my numbers all that morning. I saw it a lot, and I got set up, and I fell for the bait, and I went to jail for the first time in my life. I got pulled over. I got caught with 9 Oxycontin and 7 hydrocodones. And it wasn't for me to distribute and sell. It was for me. Those were for me. So I went to jail for the first time, and I was so fucking disappointed in myself. Like, I got to this point in my life, like, it was awful. I remember being around all these crazy people and just had a bunk, and it was just awful. I couldn't believe I was at that point in my life, and I was a druggie. And my parents finally found out. You know, they didn't have a clue. They didn't know that I was doing that, you know. And I'm in the jail. It was I was in Athens jail. It was for Henderson County. And I'm laying in my bed, and I can't get up. I'm devastated, and I sleep for a good 2-3 days. And I don't eat. I'm so mad at myself. It was like I was punishing myself. So I go, and the nurse is calling me, and she's like, "Owens, you need to come here." And I'm like, "Okay." And I walk up, and I had been talking to my mom this whole time. You know, I was so upset with myself, and they couldn't bail me out. It was $1,000, and it was not happening. And so we just had to see what my fate was. And anyways, they call me over, the nurse, and she's like, "So you're not eating?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I know." And she's like, "Why aren't you eating?" And I said, "I don't know, I just can't eat." And she goes, "Well, have you ever tried to kill yourself?" And I said, "Yeah, back in 2012, I tried to kill myself." And she said, "Okay, well, you're going to need to come with me." And I was like, "Okay." So I'm thinking in my head, like, "Ooh, I'm going to a separate room. I'm going to be fine. I'm not going to be around these people, and I can sulk in my depression in that room." You know what I mean? She takes me down this long hallway, and there's doors on each side of the hallway, and each door has a little window, and a guard would walk up and open that window and look in, you know, and shut it back. And so I'm going this way, and there's another guard going this way, and I'm watching him do that, open up the window and look in. And so she opens up a door, and it was door number 9. And she opens it up, and she's like, "All right, get in there." And I said, "Okay." And I remember looking in, and there was a slab bed of cement. It was just cement. There was no pad to sleep on. There was no whatever it's called. Anyway, and it was freezing in there. I remember the air just whished out when she opened the door. It was fucking cold. And she pushes me, and she says, "Get naked. You can't go in there." And I had tried to go in there with my clothes on. She got mad at me and told me to get naked, and I was like, "Wait, what?" And she's like, "Get naked. You're going in there." And I'm like, "Oh my God," I'm devastated. I'm crying. I'm like, "Wait, no, what? Wait." And she is so mad at me because I wouldn't do it. She told me that she was going to force me to do it and put me in some chair. And so I'm like, "Okay, fine." You know, I get naked, and I get in there, and she throws this vest at me. She's like, "I'm supposed to give you a blanket, but we ran out." And I'm like, "What?" I was still a big girl. This vest that she gave me was supposed to go on this chair, and that would hold you down in this chair. I'm not in a chair. I need a blanket. And she gives me this vest. It doesn't even cover half my body. And this cold air was just blaring down from the vent. And I remember looking up at the vent, and I was fucking freezing. I remember looking up at the vent thinking, "Oh my God, there's toilet paper on the vent, like flickering down. That means somebody else had gotten toilet paper to throw it up there wet so it would cover up the vent." my God, I'm not going to survive in here. Like, I was thinking, oh my, how long am I going to be in here? Mind you, it was Thanksgiving week. The day I go in there, it was Thanksgiving. Or no, it was the day before Thanksgiving. I don't know. And I remember thinking, oh my God, I can't do this. I can't do this. And I begged and begged. I would knock on that door every 5 minutes. Let me out, please. I'm not going to try and do anything stupid. I want to kill myself. Like, I'm done with that part of my life. I'm a different person now. Please don't do this to me. And she wasn't having it. None of them were. None of the guards were having it. They would ignore me, and they didn't give a shit about me. I was so bitterly cold. I couldn't handle it. By the way, I don't know if this video might cut off because the timing, because I have to finish this part. This is the most important part. But anyway, oh shit. I'm trying to plug my phone in. Anyway, so I'm freezing my ass off, and there was nothing I could do about it. Nothing. I remember I got into the shower, and it was warm. I finally got warm. Finally. And I sat at the bottom of the shower, and I just kept pressing the button and to get warm. And I remember the guard was getting mad at me and telling me to get out, you know, and they wouldn't give me a towel. So I would get out and be freezing. I was turning blue. And because I was in the bottom of that shower, I started getting chafed in between my thighs, and it looked really bad, and it was painful, and it's because I was in the shower so long and naked. And I'm telling the guard, like, look, I need to get out of here. Like, I need to see a nurse or something, because this chafing is really bad. And they wouldn't give me any medicine or anything like that. And so I get back in the shower. I am so cold. I can't handle it. I couldn't believe how cold I was. It was down to the bone. Like, I had never experienced anything this cold in my life, and I couldn't get warm. If you've ever experienced something like that, it's really hard to wrap your head around, because there was nothing you could do about it, you know. And I get back in the shower, and the guard's like, get out of the shower, and I'm like, please, it's the only warmth I have. You won't give me a blanket, and and they just didn't give a shit. And I remember crawling out of the shower, and I am devastated. I am at the lowest part of my entire life. And I realize that I'm not getting out of here. And I remember the guard popped in, and I had asked one more time, and I'm like, please, can you get the nurse? And she's like, I'm not getting the nurse. He is at home eating turkey dinner with his family. It is Thanksgiving. I didn't realize what week it was or anything. I didn't know. And she's like, he is not coming up here. And that's when I knew. I lost it. Like, I didn't know how long I was going to be there. I didn't know how much more I could take, you know. And I remember crawling out of the shower, and I'm naked, and my boobs and my stomach were on the cement, and I am literally like crawling like this, and on the ground. And I remember I had nothing left, you know. There was nothing left for me. Oh my God, and I didn't even tell you, mind you, I did not believe in God. I didn't even say that. At the time, around the time I tried to kill myself, I didn't believe in God, because why would God do this stuff to me? Why am I going through all this horrible experience in my life? I did not believe in God. Anyways, back to my story. So I just kind of messed it up. But anyway, I am crawling out of the shower, nothing left to give. My life is just ruined, I feel, and there's just I don't know what to do. And I'm laying there bawling, and I'm just, my eyes are swollen, and I was doing that ugly cry, and I was crawling, and I was close to the door. And I remember I looked up, and someone had scratched in at the bottom of the door where my head was. I was laying down, and it was scratched in at the bottom of the door. And it said, and hold on one second. It said, I should have gotten this all ready when I knew I was going to do this. Someone scratched in at the bottom of the door. Hebrews 11:1. And I'm thinking, my number? That's my number. Like, I considered that my number, because I saw it everywhere. And it finally led up to this point in my life. There it is, the number I've been seeing for months, and there it is. And it said, Hebrews 11:1, now that you have confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Now faith is the confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. Man, and I had issues with God. Like, I was just, people wanted me to believe in God, and I just didn't want to. And I was feeling iffy about it. It was like this with God, And let me tell you, if that wasn't God that told me this on that wall, on that door, it's basically saying, now that you believe in me, now that you have faith, and you know what you're going to get, whatever you hope for is going to happen, and I'll give you reassurance for the things you don't see, for your future, basically. I'll give you reassurance for your future. And I remember laying there and I was thinking, my God, this is it. This is why I'm down at the bottom of this door, this floor, and in this room, and freezing. That instant, that second I saw that and I read that, I believed in God. The second I saw it, it changed my whole life. I started praying for the first time in my life. I prayed and I said, God, I'm so sorry, I didn't want to see you, and you were trying so hard to get my attention after I tried to kill myself, and you tried so hard, and I just wouldn't see it. Like, I didn't want to believe in you because I didn't trust you. Why would you do this stuff to me? And he tried to talk to me through numbers, and I just didn't want to see it. And he showed me every day. It was weird. And this number was at the bottom of this door. It was scratched in at the bottom of this door, and this is how he was going to get to me. It was at the lowest point in my life, and it worked. So I started praying, and I'm like, God, I'm sorry. Please get me out of here. Fly me away like a bird. I remember saying, fly me away like a bird. Please, God, fly me away like a bird. And I passed out. I mean, he took me away, but I don't know what happened. I passed out. I don't know how long it was. But I passed out, and when I came to, the nurse was there, and he woke me up, and he said, I came all the way down from eating turkey dinner with my family just to come see you. They all are concerned with you. And I started bawling because God answered me, and something that I didn't think he would ever do. And so I get out of that room and I'm just so thankful to be back in population. I was just so happy and I could eat and I just was so happy. And I called my mom, and my mom knew I didn't believe in God, and she knew I had seen these numbers for months. And I call her and I tell her, she's like, where have you been? I don't know where you were. You haven't called me. And it was Thanksgiving. And what happened? And I tell her, Mom, I believe in God now. Like, I believe in God. I know there's a God, Mom. And she's like, are you okay? What happened? Are you? And she thought, oh my God, she's flipping out because like she knew that I didn't believe in God. And anyways, that night, I got bailed out. They came up with the money, and my grandparents helped a lot with it. And that's what happened. I got out, and whew, I cried. Anyway, what I'm saying, and the whole point of this story, and I told this story in prison so many times. I told it in front of classes. I told it in front of, I think it was about 30 people, which meant a lot to me because I want this to change other people's lives. Whatever happens to you in your life, whether it be good or bad, whether you think that you are at the lowest point in your life or whether you made mistakes, every single little detail in your life means something. If I wouldn't have tried to kill myself back in 2012, I would have never been put in that room to find God. I know for a fact. I know everything happens for a reason, whether you believe it or not, because one day you might see it just like I did. And you might be at the lowest point of your life, and it might just be the best day of your life, just like mine. I didn't believe in God, and I had to go to the lowest point of my life to finally understand that He's been there the whole time. And like, look, I was a firm disbeliever. Like, I did not believe in God. I was angry if there was a God. I was angry, and I didn't want to listen. But let me tell you, and I'm not one of those Bible pushers. Like, I don't do that. If you want to worship Allah, I don't care. Like, if you want to worship a sock, I don't care. But for me, I just knew God had been there with me the whole time. And He spoke to me through numbers. And all of this was supposed to happen. It was supposed to happen. And I talk to Him every day to this day. And like I said, I told this story in prison to so many people. And I'm really proud of it. And I feel like it was all worth it just for somebody to hear it, you know. And I hope somebody listens to this 30-minute video. So that was my story. I'm going to end it here. And thank you so much for watching me cry. And I'm going to go eat lunch. I'll see y'all guys later. Thanks for watching.